The first thing I want to do to kick this off is to speak from my heart. I'm not even speaking from a speech or a teleprompter. My time here, I've met a lot of you here, and I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. I mentor a lot of students. As a lawyer, I mentor a lot of law students. I mentor a lot of high school students. And I know the work that some of you do as deans, some of you do as retention experts, as academics, as presidents of universities, when you encounter students in crisis, students who are about to lose their dream. When you're making the phone calls trying to find the money from some department somewhere. When you're dealing with a student who doesn't think that they can make it through the next class. When you're calling the professor. When you're calling the student to ask, where are you? It's a lot of work. It's heart-wrenching work. And I know there's a lot of tissue in the desk of some of your offices, so I'm here to say thank you. Thank you. Because the work you're doing, I know you've referred to them as students a lot, and that's your vernacular for them, but it's about people. And those people have kids and grandkids and brothers and sisters and mothers and grandmothers that have depended upon you. And that one conversation or two conversations or 15 conversations where you had to keep picking that student up and picking him up and picking him up and picking her up and helping her out is the reason right now she can feed her kids. It's the reason why right now she could put her own kids through college. And so, yeah, you should give each other a round of applause because the work you are doing is that important. As an attorney, I would like to humbly thank each of you for the opportunity to advocate on behalf of the future alumni of your esteemed institutions of higher learning. With your patience and participation, I would like to start my story at the end and circle back to how I got here and why it's relevant to our cause. If you could all just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and block everything out of your mind and heart. 5 years ago, I attended a conference not unlike this one in Laguna Beach, California. It is an absolutely beautiful 5-star hotel nestled on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. As I prepared for a meeting that morning, I put on my 3-piece suit and tie, my freshly shined shoes, my lotion and cologne, and I stepped out on the balcony overlooking the freshly manicured lawns and crystal clear pool and surfboard-filled waves of the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, it's that height. It really looks like that. I deeply inhaled the salt water, and then I fell to my knees, crying uncontrollably, thanking and praising God uncontrollably, right there on the balcony of the Ritz-Carlton. Now, I'm a Christian, but church is not an every Sunday thing for me. I believe in the power of prayer, but usually it's a planned thing with my sons, Lance and Xavier, before bed. But this time was different. It was real. I was overwhelmed that I had gone from being a college dropout, a person that flunked out of college, to standing on the balcony of the Ritz-Carlton on Laguna Beach in my 3-piece suit and my tie and my shiny shoes. When I received that letter from Indiana University stating that I was no longer permitted to enroll in classes or attend school, I thought that my dreams were over. Like many of the students that some of you probably talked to, I cried. I thought I had failed. I wanted to hide. I wanted to act like somehow this is not happening to me. But there I sat on the patio of the Ritz-Carlton crying because dreams do come true. And here I stand today imploring you to help pave a pathway for one of your future alumni to get a second chance to return to school, to graduate with honors, to attend a graduate school or a doctoral program, and then one day stand proudly on the balcony of the Ritz-Carlton with a cell phone in their hand, navigating your alumni website to make a very generous thank you donation to the school for your assistance and dedication to helping him or her fulfill their dreams, which I do every year. I am not supposed to be standing here today. Not on this stage, not with you. I'm from the hood. But I'm here because I declared that I wanted to be a lawyer when I was 12 years old. Before I even knew what a lawyer was or what they did or what a lawyer was supposed to look like or act like. As a kid on the south side of Chicago, all I knew that was my father served in Vietnam and was brought home alive as a result of the work of a lawyer named Henry Walker. And that for his efforts, Lawyer Walker, an African-American lawyer, his name was said with the utmost respect and highest regard by everyone in my family and in the city of East Chicago, Indiana. We got dressed up in our good clothes, even as a kid, to go see Lawyer Henry Walker. He was consulted on difficult and important decisions. My grandfather, a smart and successful businessman in his own right, always wanted to get the opinion of Lawyer Henry Walker. So it was with that spark that the candle was lit. Lawyer Henry Walker and Matlock. Because all lawyers today were inspired to become lawyers by Matlock, may he rest in peace. I'm an African-American male. I've heard it discussed. Sometimes you guys talk about us like we're not here. We are here. It's the brothers. Like we look around when you say mine, like we like, hey, you talking about me like I'm not smart and intelligent and gifted and sitting here with you. I am. And I was born on the south side of Chicago in an area nicknamed the Wild Hundreds. Anybody from the Wild Hundreds? Anybody from Chicago? Okay, all right, we got some Chi-Town in the house. My mother worked her entire life as a teacher for children with special needs. My father rarely held a job. Gang violence plagued Chicago then, and it still plagues Chicago today. As a matter of fact, my best friend and I, Sean Newsterter, was killed in a drive-by shooting when we were walking home from school one day. He was shot 1 block away from our house when he was 16 years old. My mother, fearing that I might meet the same fate, allowed me to graduate from high school at the age of 16. And I went to Michigan State University, where I did extremely well. Any Michigan? I know we got some Michigan folks here. Land-grant college is code for 25 minutes in between classes. I was at Michigan State until the day my father called me and threatened to come to campus to shoot me in the dorm. I hid out in Detroit. My stepbrother found me and moved me to Bloomington and enrolled me into Indiana University. A few short months later, my father shot my mother 3 times, and I flunked out of school. I flunked out of school. I flunked out of school. I was 16 years old when I started college. I was 16 years old when I became a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I graduated from high school with a 3.9 GPA, and when I was at Michigan State and I left Michigan State, I had a 3.6 GPA. But I flunked out of school because of hood shit. Not because I wasn't smart enough, because I'm black and I'm male. I flunked out of school, and I'm not supposed to be here today. I worked as a security guard at a Best Buy department store. I worked at a Firestone changing tires and changing oil. I worked at a Gap selling sweaters and khakis. I was a ticket taker in a movie theater. I almost became an East Chicago fireman. I passed all the tests. I was in a lot better shape then. But I decided to return to school because I always knew in my mind and I felt in my heart that I was able to graduate from college. I wanted my degree. I wanted to finish school. I wanted to be a lawyer. But as I'm sure you all know, there's a long, difficult road between those students wanting to go back to school and graduation. I had roadblocks. Roadblock number one, the question, how do I even get back into school? The problem, there was no single person in the university who knew the answer of how to get Jimmy McMillan back into school, and no single person who had the trigger that could allow me to get back in. It took me 10 phone calls and 14 office visits to different university departments to figure out the plan to re-enter college academically. And if any of you know your students, 10 phone calls and 14 office visits, it's not gonna happen. I went to my old academic advisor. Then I went to the dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Then I went to the dean of student life, an advisor in the continuing studies department, the financial aid department, and then of course you gotta go to the bursar's office. And each of my professors for which I had failed their classes all had to bless me. Imagine how eager your students are to go back to the very same classes that they failed. Returning to school was like searching for a hidden treasure with 6 different treasure maps. Finally, it was determined that I needed to take 15 credits in independent study classes to obtain my associate's degree through the university, and then the school would reconsider whether I could be officially readmitted to a 4-year program. That was the plan. Now we get roadblock number 2. How do I pay for the independent study classes? The problem is my student loans were in default. How many of you had that problem? I could not afford to pay for the classes, work full-time, and return to school full-time. But I sacrificed, got a second job, and actually made a way to pay for the independent study classes myself, which was great. But when I was readmitted to school full-time, I still needed financial aid. It took several more visits to several more people and more phone calls to find out about the William D. Ford program and to develop a 3-month payment plan to reestablish my eligibility for student loans. Roadblock number 3, what classes do I need to take and when do I need to take them? The problem, I started at Michigan State earning A's and B's. I transferred to Indiana University earning F's. I earned F's in my classes because I did not go to class. How many of you have had to say that to a student? You are earning F's because you don't go. But the university felt like I may have earned F's because I was not academically prepared for school. Initially, the school required me to take base-level math courses and wanted me to take additional base-level foreign language courses. The same foreign language courses that I failed because the course grades were all attendance-based. Spanish was an every day of the week, 5-day-a-week class, and for every class you missed, you dropped a grade with a full-time work schedule. So if you missed a class, you're no longer able to get an A+ for no reason, you got an A. Then you missed another class, A-. You missed another class, the highest you get was a B+. Missed another class, the highest you get was a B. So they say, Jimmy, go to class. Okay, but with a full-time work schedule, I was concerned that it may be difficult now that I'm back in school to make it to every class. Then a fraternity brother told me to petition the school to take a placement test for math and foreign language. Never heard about that. I tested out of the math and the foreign language requirements, saving me both the time and the money. I knew the information. The answer was for me to create a semester-by-semester class program and work schedule that allowed me to work 12 hours per day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Saturday, and to take 15 credit hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That was the only way that I could return to school and do well and pay for it. I earned straight A's and B's the first year back because I wanted to be a lawyer. My second and final year of college, I earned straight A's. Straight A's. My GPA, the GPA that earned me a seat in the Indiana University McKinney School of Law, class of 2002, was only a 2.4. I am not supposed to be here. I tell you this story not to glorify myself, but as a reminder of what makes me eternally grateful for God's mercy and the support that I received to help me accomplish my goal of becoming a college graduate and an attorney. The support I receive from people like you who never gave up on me. I'm here just as a representative of every person that you helped, because it means something. It means something. The struggle is in me, but overcoming the struggle has now defined me. Now I have my dream job as the senior corporate counsel of the world's greatest racetrack, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is the home to the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Tickets are on sale now at ims.com. We have an app. Best place to spend your Memorial Day weekend. Holler at me if you come out there. I got you. Behind the scenes access, you're good. I graduated from law school. I clerked for the Honorable Justice Frank Sullivan for the Indiana Supreme Court. I worked for 12 years as an associate at one of the largest law firms in the country, Barnes & Thornburg. Became a partner at that law firm in the litigation department. Recruited several other minorities to the firm and other firms. I became a philanthropist. I give money back to my community that I wouldn't have, but not for finishing school. I'm making changes in my community because I finished school. I can't tell you how many people said that this was not supposed to happen. Something about a black man with tattoos with the nickname Tic Tac, working at the state's Indiana premier white shoe law firm. Impossible. And now I'm a lawyer at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There's still some holdouts who wonder how I got there. They allow black people to serve as lawyers out there? I usually just laugh and then I whisper, yeah, we got women too. I stand here today to make an impassionate argument, not for myself, but on behalf of my friends, my family, and coworkers that I talk to every day that started college and for their own reasons were not able to complete college. I ride motorcycles. I'm actually the vice president of the largest motorcycle club in the state. I'm actually impressed by this because next year I'm gonna spend 14 days and I'm gonna ride through every last one of your states. I'm doing 48 states in 14 days, except for Hawaii and Alaska. I'm saving that for 2019. But I'm gonna see all of your states. It's awesome. But I'm wearing people every day, man, and all they talk about is, I wish I could be you. And I'm like, man, I'm cool, man. And they're like, nah, I wish I could finish school, man. I wish I could finish so just my kids would know that I finished. I see people sacrificing everything they have trying to get through school. Community college, four-year university, everything they have, while trying to keep their own kids going through school. We all had a dream of graduating, dream of earning your diploma, the dream of taking your lives and dreams and your career to the next level. And every day, I come to work with my legal assistant. She's a single mother of 2 children. She receives no child support or assistance from her children's fathers. She is extremely bright and determined. She messed up when she was younger. She flunked out of school. She recently returned on her own dime and earned straight A's in her first semester back in the school, but was not allowed to return for a second semester because of issues with her financial aid package and her student loan eligibility dating back to her freshman year 7 years ago. I watch her hold back tears and frustration with the inability to complete her college dreams every day I walk into the office. This is not made up stage stuff. This is real. And she wants more for herself to be able to accomplish this and for her children than you could possibly imagine. She needs your help. And I'm here for her and others like her to argue that your mission should be focused on recapturing those bright and brilliant students that lost their way and bring them back into the fold, to transform them into highly educated professionals ready to lead and contribute in their communities. Several years after flunking out, I was honored to actually be the graduation speaker for Indiana University. I still laugh about it today. I told them I flunked out of here. A few weeks ago, I was honored to be selected to be the distinguished alumni of the Robert McKinney School of Law. I can't make this up. I still cry tears of joy all the time, and I still thank God every day, and I'm not ashamed of it. I believe that God brought me this far, and he brought me here to this stage today for one reason and one reason only, and that's to serve as a reminder to somebody out there who's kind of losing the faith and tired and underpaid and not supported by the people that you work for, and you feel like you're going to go back with great ideas, and they're going to shoot them down. I am here as your reminder. Don't you give up. Don't you stop fighting. You keep pushing it. You keep telling them this is what we need, because this is not about them. This is about me. This is about people like me who need to be on this stage. Somebody like you gave everything they could so I could be here. Somebody like you gave everything they could so I could send my kids to college, so that my mama could be proud of me instead of being sad about me flunking out of school. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. You keep fighting for those kids. I am so happy that Complete College America is going to provide you with the tools and resources that you need to help the dreams of your future distinguished alumni come true. Thank you.